Previously on the Great Ace Attorney. What is this welling up inside me? Never felt like this before. It's a sort of conviction to break down all the discrepancies. So intense, almost rage-like. More than anything else, it's an animalistic desire to take down my prey.
Objection!
Finally! Hello, YouTube. I'm Unca Crunk. Welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney and the adventure of Unbreakable Speckled Band.
In a corner of that small, dark room, Sholmes and I waited with bated breath.
Sholmes?
In time, there came from the ventilator a hiss and a soft, almost growl-like sound. Suddenly, Sholmes sprang into action, lashing furiously with his cane at a point in the darkness. "You see it, Wilson?" he yelled, his tense voice reverberating through the air. I raised my dark lantern's shutter, and the room slowly came into view. Sholmes was staring intently at one particular corner when he started whispering to me. The victim's most perplexing final words. The speckled band. I believe this is the terrible coil to which she referred, Wilson. In front of us was an enormous adder, its fangs bared as it threatened to strike. It truly was the most terrible speckled band I had ever seen.
What, like Herlock Sholmes? From, the Arsène Lupin books? 9th January, 6:37 a.m. on board the steamship Burya.
So then, let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this curious murder. Pray, do excuse me. The cabin door was bolted from the inside when the man was killed. No marks to suggest the bolt was tampered with in any way. So, this would appear to be a locked room mystery. In his final moments, the victim scrawled a message on the floor. Almost certainly with the ink from this upset bottle. A Russian word. So the victim was a Russian man then. And the letters are well formed, suggesting he was compos mentis at the time. This is a most extraordinary script. And evidently not penned by the same hand as this message. In fact, I deduce it was written by someone of a different nationality. This paper seal was placed just prior to the incident, by the victim himself, I would venture. Well, what have we here?
Who are you, and what do you think you're doing here?
No one must touch before maritime police come. We must wait!
Shh. That won't be necessary. You see, in less than 5 seconds from now, I will reveal the killer to you.
What?
Don't be absurd. This is murder. And in cabin locked from inside.
Ah yes, the locked room. But that mystery is paper thin.
You don't mean the culprit is in there?
Who are you, and where have you come from?
I'm a great British consultant detective, the only one in the world. Herlock Sholmes. I presume you must have heard of me.
The what? Very steampunk. Oh, my head is throbbing. What's going on? Something's not right here. There's trouble in the air. Wait, I can't move. Oh. What the? Why am I in handcuffs? Kazuma! Kazuma! Why am I in handcuffs? So you wake up now, Oh, I was expecting the bigger one. We had to drag you out of the wardrobe. I do not believe how you could not wake up. You are a true cold-blooded man. It just occurs to me that I don't think I can do a Russian accent. You found me then. Oh, we found you, and now you pay, criminal. How long are you hiding in that tiny wardrobe, sorry. Now you have been found. It is time to admit your crimes. Unless you want to find out how cold the ocean is, No, I'll tell you everything. Is this her lock? There's only one thing I'd like to know from you. Is that... Oh, no. Also, why did you have an English accent? You're from, Japan. Why did you do it? Why did you take his life? Let me guess. It's Kazuma. Miss Susato! Wait, what did you just say? Take his life? Where? Where is he? Where's Kazuma? Ha! You pretend you do not know. You are a wolf in the sheep's pelt. You are the killer. Do not try to make excuses. What? Kazuma-sama's body was discovered not long ago. Damn it. Here, in this very cabin that was bolted shut from the inside. I mean, it was obvious. The man had more red flags than he knew what to do with. So obviously he was going to die, but still, I like him. His body? Please, do not try to tell us you were doing this terrible thing in your sleep. Kazuma's dead? But he can't be. These handcuffs. Surely you don't think I have to know. Why did you take Kazuma-sama's life? Answer me, please. No. No! Kazuma. It was just 2 short weeks ago. Are you sure about this? We won't get in trouble? Oh, you find it fun being a stowaway? Besides, how else could you come to England with me to study? Stowaway? And this was your idea? I thought you were the smart one. It was really something else when they brought your luggage in here earlier, though. The way that Russian crewman just tossed your traveling case onto the floor. Thought I was gonna die. Yes, still can't quite believe that. I really didn't think you'd be able to fit inside my trunk. You must be even less of a man than you look. Excuse me. Honestly, I thought I broke every bone in my body. Well, it's about 50 days until we dock in Great Britain. But if you confine yourself to my cabin here, I don't expect anyone will discover you. I hope not. I get the feeling those Russians wouldn't be very forgiving of a stowaway. They're a sturdy bunch, that's for sure. What I want to know is, why do we need to keep it a secret from the young lady? From our faithful judicial assistant, Mikotoba, you mean? From your close friend, more to the point. Surely we could confide in her, couldn't we? I don't believe she'd give me away. No, but if she knew what we'd done, that would make her guilty by association. Also, a secret between three people is not a secret. It's best that only you and I know about this. I suppose so. Anyway, it's about the time that the steward is supposed to come and clean the cabin. I know it's cramped, but you better get in there, I think. It won't be for long. And anyway, compared to hiding inside my traveling case, it'll be a breeze. Yes, but what if the steward decides to open the wardrobe for some reason? Then I'll be in for it. Stop worrying. I'll tell you what. Why don't you write keep out or something on this piece of paper? What? Then I can stick it over the wardrobe doors once you're inside. No. We've only been at sea for about 15 days. How can this have happened? We were supposed to be going on this adventure to England together. We'd leave you at next port. Stay quiet until then. Don't make more trouble for yourself. Murderer. No, I'm not a murderer. You said before. You said you admit everything about your crimes. No, that's not right. I mean, yes, I did stow away on this ship, but murdering my best friend? No one else could have done it. Admit the truth. Susato-san? Please, tell me what happened. I need to know. Very well. But there is something I would like to ask of you, too. Those eyes. She looks like she's ready to destroy me. This nightmare is getting worse by the minute. I suppose all I can do is try to find out what really happened. He really has been killed, hasn't he? This isn't just a bad dream. And these handcuffs, they think I did it? They think I'm Kazuma's killer? When they found him, the cabin was locked from the inside. What do you mean? There's no access to the cabin via the porthole window, and the bolt on the door can't be operated from outside. In other words, after the crime, the culprit couldn't have escaped these four walls. What? Or to put it another way, the culprit can only have been somebody inside this cabin. Or do you have some other explanation? I see a vent right behind you. Over your, it's right there, right over your right shoulder. Nothing? Oh, this is impossible. How did he die then? What happened exactly? Are you still going to deny the charge, even despite the circumstances? Play Susato-san, you have to tell me. The cause of death is still undetermined. They don't know how he died? The ship's doctor is examining the body, but of course, he has no post-mortem analysis experience. I don't suppose we shall learn more until an expert has been consulted at our next port of call. So presumably that means there were no obvious external signs of injury then. That's true, yes. Huh. Can't anyone tell me what actually happened here in this cabin? I don't understand it. Why would anyone want to kill Kazuma? Presumably, that's something you know the answer to better than anyone. Please. Whatever you say, you were here in the cabin after all. Well, yes, I was, but... He would always wake up before dawn and do his training first thing in the morning. I was waiting outside his cabin, as I have every day so far on this voyage. But this morning he did not come. I could sense that he wouldn't. Does that mean he was already dead when Susato-san arrived at his cabin door? I wonder. I knocked, but there was no reply. Then I started to become worried, so I went to find a member of the crew. The crewman forced the cabin door open, and when we managed to get inside, there was Kazuma-sama, collapsed on the floor. And the white tape there now shows exactly where he was found, I suppose. I had no idea anything had happened. I must have been asleep in the wardrobe somehow. I wish it wasn't the case, but that's just very hard to believe. This is all very hard for me to believe too, trust me. Now I've told you everything that I know. So it's my turn to ask you a question. Yes, all right. My head feels so heavy, still throbbing like anything. Why are you even on board this ship, Naruhodo-san? You said something about being a stowaway, didn't you? Oh, yes. I'm afraid that's true. It's 2 weeks since we left Japan now, and I've been shut up in this cabin the entire time. I had no idea. But how could you have occupied Kazuma-sama's cabin for so long without him noticing? No, that would have been impossible, obviously. Yes, of course. Kazuma invited me. He wanted us to go to England together. He actually asked you? But why? I'm afraid I don't really know the reason myself. I don't understand. Kazuma, why do you want this? What's the real reason? Why go to such extreme lengths to smuggle me to England with you? It's an idea that's been on my mind ever since the end of that incredible trial. I think I told you then, didn't I? That you ought to become a lawyer yourself? Well, yes, you did say that. I didn't think you were so serious. You have a talent for it. I can assure you of that. But I've never really thought about becoming a lawyer. Well, that's something you can decide for yourself. London is at the spearhead of cultural development, the center of the world in many ways. Can't be any harm in seeing such an important place with your own eyes, can there? Well, no, definitely not. But on a personal level, if you were to become a lawyer, then what? Nothing. Forget it. What? Kazuma-sama he was always saying the same thing. That he wanted to change the Japanese legal system. Perhaps he thought that he could do that with you. Yes, maybe. But something's still bothering me a little. The look in his eyes then. It was darker than I've ever seen it before. Susato-san? I'm sorry that we kept it a secret from you, by stowing away on this ship, I mean. If I know Kazuma-sama, I expect he was trying to protect me, to avoid me becoming guilty by association. And also, I'm sure he would have said something along the lines of, a secret between 3 people is not a secret. That's exactly right! Yes, word perfect, in fact. Even the bit about the secret thing. If you're not the culprit, then tell me, what happened last night here in this cabin? Well, the thing is, I don't really remember. Kazuma brought me something neat, just like he always did. And then I got myself into that wardrobe over there, just like I always did. After that, I fell asleep. Well, yes. So deeply that you didn't even stir when Kazuma-sama was killed? Well, yes. I know it sounds unbelievable. Really, I do, but it's the truth. The most unbelievable part of all of this is that you were not sleeping in Kazuma's bed. Underneath him. Or on top of him. Underneath him. It's not like that. As much as I, would have liked it to have been. But if only I'd woken up, then perhaps I wouldn't be in this predicament. And for some reason, my head's still throbbing like anything. Drugs? Really? Something wrong? Oh, no, it's... Please, forget it. Sato-san, you have to believe me, I didn't do it. I really don't want to doubt you. But the trouble is, there is no one else who could possibly have done this. Ah! Oh, Kazuma, I don't understand. Why? Why did this have to happen? Ah, I can't take this. Don't try to go anywhere. I wasn't. You are the perpetrator of this crime. You can't leave. I can't allow that to happen. I'm sorry. Kazuma was killed right under my nose here, and I didn't do anything to stop it. Now I'm supposed to just sit around, my hands tied, literally, while whoever did this just walks free? No! Can't allow that to happen. Well, what do you propose to do then? I'm going to investigate. I'm going to find out exactly what happened here. Going to work out who took Kazuma's life and how and why they did it. Or at least how. So I'm sorry, but you're going to have to excuse me. Hiya! Excuse me. Okay. What the? That was a Susato takedown. A Susato what now? What martial art form is that? I'm going to need you to prove it. Sorry, prove it? Yes, your innocence. I need evidence. But how am I supposed to... Have you forgotten already what you achieved just 3 weeks ago? You successfully defended yourself in a court of law. Oh, I see. She's expecting me to present some conclusive evidence. I have to get Susato-san to believe me. I'll show her some evidence right now that proves I'm not guilty of her awful crime. Of this awful crime. Okay, paper seal. Kazuma would stick this over the doors of the wardrobe for me. It says keep out in Japanese, though I'm not sure the Russian crew can actually read it. Or proof that I'm a student and blah blah blah. It must be this. It's the only other thing I have.
Yes!
Tell me, when I was discovered in the wardrobe before, was this piece of paper stuck over the doors? Oh, yes, it was. I remember clearly. Oh, yeah, if I'd opened the doors, it would have fallen off. I thought so. Kazuma always put it in place whenever I went to sleep in there. Just in case the cabin steward or another crew member decided to look inside. So naturally, he did the same last night as well. Ah. Yes, of course. The gentleman who discovered you peeled that sign from the wardrobe doors before he opened them. But if I were truly the culprit, I couldn't have climbed back inside the wardrobe and stuck this on the outside of the doors on my own. Yes, That's quite true. In other words, it's impossible that I killed Kazuma. Well, then if you are sprawled hopelessly on the floor, I can see why Kazuma-sama thought so highly of you. Thank you, Susato-san. Now, you think you could perhaps help me up? Well, in the light of that evidence, I don't see any reason why I should stop you from investigating in here at least. Thank you! So you finally believe me? I'm sorry. No. What? I'm not sure yet. I can't rule out the possibility that you used some sort of conjuring trick to put that sign back into position. Why does she think I am, a magician? For now, I suggest you investigate as thoroughly as possible in here. I'll do the same. All right, let's get to work, Susato-san. Please don't misunderstand me. I still have my doubts. Ow. I shall be watching you to make sure you do nothing that might disturb the crime scene. I wouldn't want you using your conjuring tricks to destroy the evidence, for example. Right. Well, anyway, I should make a start on investigating here, examine everything I can. Kazuma, I swear, I will avenge your death. Okay. So, I guess we'll start with examining... Oh, you're still here. Perhaps I should see what this Russian crewman makes of the scene of the crime. Excuse me. What? I was wondering how it's going. You know, the investigation, I mean. Grandmother told me Japanese people do not make jokes, but it is not true, I see. Sorry? The criminal asking investigator for information about this crime? Very funny. Ow, it wasn't supposed to be a joke. He doesn't appear to be laughing either. He's convinced you're guilty. He might have useful information, though. I have to keep trying. So, last night, did you notice anything out of the ordinary at all? Yet, of course not. Now back to corner of room and make silent. I say no more to you. Can I hit a nerve? Just for a minute there, he seemed a little flustered. Oh dear, that won't do. Oh, what's the matter, Susato-san? Whenever I'm examining things, I always find myself so focused, I forget to look around properly. Yes, that's not good. I don't suppose you're as foolish as me in that regard, are you, Naruhodo-san? I'm sure you're careful to look all around using the D-pad, aren't you? Now, let's investigate all corners of this cabin. Oh, D-pad? Okay. Yes, let's do just that. I suppose my field of vision has been rather small until now. Did Kazuma write that before he died? It looks like it's written in ink. He must have knocked the ink pot from the desk when he collapsed on the floor. Huh. Then I suppose he wrote this message by dipping his finger in the spillage. Poor Kazuma-sama. No doubt he was in terrible pain. It's almost unbearable to imagine it. Did Kazuma read and write Russian by any chance? I suppose he was trying to leave some kind of a clue in his final moments, was he? I'm sorry, partner, but I can't read your writing. I don't think that's Japanese, Naruhodo-san. What? And what language is it? It pains me to admit it, but I don't know. Well, it's not a foreign script I'm familiar with. It's Cyrillic. What does it mean, I wonder? Oh, well. What do you think this is? It looks like a broken piece of glassware. Whatever the thing was, it appears to have broken clean in two. It looks like a glass bell. The glass is such a beautiful color. It looks like a cute little netsuke fastener from a kimono outfit. I'm not sure that sounds like Kazuma. He wouldn't have secretly carried a cute little trinket like this around with him, would he? Maybe a keepsake? And the mark beside it. What is it, I wonder? It has a sort of brick-like hue. That's right. It is the color of brick, isn't it? Even though I don't see anything of the same color anywhere else in the cabin. That's a very large traveling case, isn't it? Yes. It carries a lot of memories for me. A lot of very cramped memories. Memories? What do you mean? Well, that's actually how I stowed away on this vessel. I was brought on and inside that case. Yes, I see it says this way up in Japanese. Which, in hindsight, I should have realized the foreign crewman wouldn't be able to read. I was turned over and over and over and over again, and then I was tossed on the floor in air. Oh dear, being a stowaway isn't as romantic as it sounds. You're telling me. I had to sleep in the wardrobe instead of in bed beside my best friend. And if I had been in bed beside my best friend might not be dead right now. Well, it was less painful than a Susato takedown. The books have fallen over on the shelf. Look, they're all toppled the same way. And what's this? A statue of some god of the sea? Although he's fallen over as well. Yes, it's almost as if the whole shelf has been ransacked and everything mown down at once. I wonder if... Perhaps it was Kazuma-sama doing his morning sword training, do you think? I seriously doubt it. Then perhaps... It was you, Naruhodo-san, in a fit of rage? Or it could have been a bumpy night. We're on a boat on the ocean. Wouldn't have bothered leaving the wardrobe just to mess up a few books and a statue. Could the way these things have been thrown about have anything to do with the case, I wonder? I mean, probably, but also maybe not. Well, I'll just set everything straight again. I don't like to see a mess. You just told me not to mess with any evidence. This is different. I'm the one messing with it. Okay. These are the rules of passage for travel aboard the SS Borea. It's essentially a list of requests from the captain to all passengers on board. Passengers? Oh. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. And yet he brought you. Hey! You're not wrong. Come on, what are you staring at me? Oh, sorry. I was just thinking. About the pet thing? About the pet thing. Are you more of a dangerous object or a pet? Can't decide. Well, one thing's for sure. Either way, I wasn't supposed to be in here, and neither was Kazuma's sword. That's Kazuma-sama's precious sword. He never went anywhere without it. Yes, he was always saying that a Japanese man's katana is his soul. I believe he had to work very hard to convince the government to allow him to bring it on this trip. I suppose that shows just how important it was to him. And now he's gone. I'm not ready to let his spirit go just yet. But I went for help, and the crewmen forced the door open. This bolt had been firmly closed. It's quite a small bolt, not particularly sturdy, and it just slides across to secure the door shut. But still, with the door bolted, there would be no way to get in or out of the cabin, that's for sure. It's no wonder everyone suspects me. When she glares at me like that, I feel tense. I feel tense all up and down my spine. I remember reading once in a detective novel. The culprit used a needle and thread to draw a bolt across from outside the room in a situation like this. Yes, that's a clever trick, isn't it? I'm an avid reader of detective stories myself. But the door of this cabin and its frame are made of metal, and they seal together perfectly. There would be no possibility of using that needle and thread trick here, I'm afraid. When she glares at me like that, I feel pins and needles all up and down my spine. Oh, my poor spine. Seigi, Japanese word for justice. The brushstrokes are straight and true, just like Kazuma. Yes, his calligraphy always was a reflection of his heart. Yet can you really look at those characters without feeling shame, knowing who drew them so thoughtfully? Of course I can! Just because he was straight and everything doesn't mean that, I would... Anyway, I'm innocent, so why shouldn't I be able to? Even though you stowed away on this ship, at his invitation! Oh, you're gonna bring that up, are you? I can't win. This is where dear Kazuma-sama would have sat whenever he was writing. London Diary. Poor Kazuma. He didn't even make it to his destination. It looks as though the last entry is incomplete. Which means... what? He was in the middle of writing it when the incident happened? See what it says. It could be a valuable clue. Hey-ya! That is out of the question. What? Kazuma-sama may have departed this world, but you must not read his private thoughts. But what if it's something important? Something relevant to the case? All right. I won't read it. Poor Kazuma-sama. Don't like prying into personal matters either. But in this case, isn't the need for clues more important? Ah! It is the D-pad. It's some 2 weeks since we set sail from Japan. Have you really been living in that wardrobe the entire time, Naruhodo-san? I think living isn't quite the right description. Oh, no. I suppose not. Although it must have been rather exciting, making this voyage in your own secret hideout. Trouble was, I never knew when a member of the crew might come in. So yes, I did basically have to live in the wardrobe. And last night was no exception. But because of that, you had no idea what was happening out here in the cabin. No, sadly not. I always knew that living my life in the closet was going to bring me no end of grief. All right, now, this thing. I think that's some kind of opening for a ventilator. A hole through which fresh air can circulate into the cabin. Isn't that a little odd? What do you mean? Well, this ventilator, if that's what it is, looks like it must connect to the next door cabin. Yes, it would appear to. You're right. But if its purpose is to allow fresh air into the room, surely it should be connected to the outside. We're in a boat. That's true. Perhaps it's so that rain and spray don't find their way in when the seas are rough, or something like that. I suppose. Maybe that's it. Hey, oh, hello! Who's that? He wasn't there a minute ago. As far as I can tell, it looks like he might be European. Oh, how did he? You've noticed the man too, have you? No idea who he is or how he got in here, but he looks suspicious and tall. Suspiciously tall! Naruhodo-san, don't tell me. Do you really not know who that is? Well, no. I don't have any foreign friends or acquaintances at all. Doesn't look like a member of the crew. There's something very unusual about him. And is he investigating Kazuma's desk, or is he just playing on it? I can't tell. Well, in that case, we simply must talk with him. Am I just imagining it, or does Suzato-san look almost uncontrollably excited? By the way, I expect that you've noticed already, but just in case, if you press A on the people when they're in the crosshairs, you can converse with them. All right, then, I'll get that suspiciously tall gentleman in my sights and see what he has to say for himself. Oh, please do. You're a fan. Excuse me. Excuse me, do you have a moment? Shh. This is a critical point in my investigation. What? Maybe I should leave him alone. He seems a little unfriendly. Yes, perhaps that would be for the best. Ah! Oh, I didn't see. What? Hang on, wait. Greetings! I hope I haven't kept you long. Ah! What exactly were you doing on Kazuma's desk just now? I see. Fascinating. Sorry? What do you see? Feels like he's looking right through me. Oh, yes. Everything is clear now. The train of reasoning has run its course. My deductions have crystallized. You have been in Afghanistan, I perceive. Just recently returned, if I'm not mistaken. Oh my god, he's an idiot. Sorry, what? And now, whilst venturing toward foreign climes, you find yourself in a most troubling predicament. Oh, well, that's true at least. But how? How the deuce did I know that, perhaps? It was really a most elementary deduction, hardly worth explaining. Have you perhaps managed to deduce anything else? But of course, a great many things. There is no mystery, my dear madam. For example, you have fled your native land of Russia, being as you are a merciless revolutionary. What? You leave 16 victims of assassination in your wake, and now travel to England to blow up the Crystal Tower. The who? And when the beribboned occupant of this very cabin discovered your identity, you ended his life too. Yes, I believe that summarizes the facts beautifully. No need to hide the truth now. Nothing deceives these eyes. Oh my god. You're going to be absolutely no help. Just to be clear, you are talking about me, are you? Certainly I am. Do you see another in this cabin who fits the bill? A Russian assassin with 16 victims to his name? I don't even see one person who fits the bill. So it's true. It was you who did this to Kazuma-sama. Excuse me? And you're plotting a revolution, too. It's shameful behavior, Naruhodo-san. Absolutely wicked. No, listen, there's no way. Hi-ya! Oh, my God. Now explain yourself. Tell me everything. This is ridiculous. How could you do it? For pity's sake, open your eyes. I'm not a Russian revolutionary. Obviously. Oh, forgive me. And as for you, what kind of deduction was that? You were just saying the first thing that came into your poofy little head. But was I not right? No! Whilst venturing toward foreign climes, you do find yourself in a most troubling predicament, do you not? Okay, you got one thing right out of about a dozen. Ha! There you have it, you see. What do you make of that, Well, to be honest, the ship is en route to England, and I'm in handcuffs at the scene of a murder. So, not really sure you could call it deduction. It's more plain observation. Indeed, and observation, my dear boy, is the basis of all deduction. My method is founded upon the observation of trifles, you see. I announce my findings with a blasty certitude. And more often than not, I'm right. I don't think you've introduced yourself. My apologies. How remiss of me. I am none other than the greatest detective of the century, known to men and women the world over. The inimitable Sherlock Holmes. The who now? So, it's really you, the actual Sherlock Holmes? The very same. The inimitable, actual Sherlock Holmes. You know this man, Suzato-san? The most famous detective in the world? Naruhodo-san, of course I do. There's nobody who hasn't heard of him. Hi. Nice to meet you. What planet have I been living on then? We must ask him what he's deduced. He will have worked out the entire case already, I'm sure. Really? Why do I feel uneasy about this? Oh, wrong button. So, you're a great detective, are you? Sorry, what was your name again? Indeed. I am none other than the one and only Sherlock Holmes. I see, you're, German? Hairlock, was it? No, I have no hair. I mean, I have hair. Please, call me Holmes. You can read all about my exploits in this exciting London publication. Oh yes, Rand's magazine, full of wonderful short stories and interest articles from Great Britain. I never miss an issue. I have it sent from England especially. Yes, here it is. The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. So, you're the protagonist in a series of short stories then? Indeed I am. And you've read so many of your own stories, you've started to think you really are a detective. Make no mistake, I am not the poor, deluded fellow you take me for. Your inference is backward. Backward? My trusty biographer records my greatest detecting achievements and chronicles them in the magazine. You have a biographer, do you? Doesn't everyone? Mine goes by the name of Dr. Wilson, presently keeping shop in London. Dr. Wilson? Wait a minute, isn't he dead? I must say, thanks to that publication, I've been fantastically busy of late. Why, this very moment, I am returning from Asia, having solved the mystery of a cursed royal crown. Really? Can't work out whether I should take this man seriously or not. Deduction, you see, is to me a science. Logical reasoning in its purest form. A science? Really? The astute observer notices even the most subtle of reactions in his subject. A furtive glance, a twitch of a muscle, a slight inclination of the posture. Fingernails, arm sleeves, furrows in the skin. All these things are data. Right. And the trained logician makes deductions from these data in the blink of an eye. The ultimate conclusion is, without fail, the truth. As I demonstrated only a few short moments ago. How can he look me in the eye and claim that? So you see, I have a turn both for observation and for deduction and fame. That is what makes me the one and only Sherlock Holmes. Oh my goodness. Have you managed to deduce anything about this particular case yet? Have I managed to deduce anything? My dear fellow! Who do you suppose discovered the culprit in his most cunning hiding place? That's right. It was none other than the great detective before you now, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. I see. In other words, I'm in these now because of him. When I became anxious about Kazuma-sama this morning, I summoned all of the crew members to force the cabin door open. And I concealed myself among their number, gaining entry to the scene of the crime. Yes, luckily for everyone, the great detective Sherlock Holmes was on board. And the handcuffs seem to be an excellent fit, Mr. Naruhodo. Ah! The very moment I lay eyes on the scene, two facts were immediately apparent to me. Really, two facts, you say? Mr. Holmes, tell us, please, what two facts were apparent to you when you came into this cabin this morning? Yes, but first, let us be precise. The two facts in question were immediately apparent to me. Yes, I understand. But what were they? Allow me to elucidate. The two facts that I deduced from a mere momentary glance at the scene of the crime were as follows. Number one, the cabin was locked from within, rendering escape of the culprit out of the question. Number 2, the victim was Russian and killed following a dispute with an acquaintance. Now hold on, Mr. Sholmes. What made you think the victim was Russian? Observe the dying message left by the victim on the floor. That is the Russian word for wardrobe. Do you really think Kazuma-sama could have left a dying message in Russian? In their final moments, many find their native tongue filling their head. For this young man, Russian. Kazuma was Russian, was he? Initially, I considered Garderobe may be the name of a killer, a certain Robert Guard, perhaps. But in the interest of thoroughness, I decided it would be wrong not to look inside the wardrobe there at least. Wait, Garderobe is Russian? So is French. Where you found Mr. Naruhodo sleeping soundly? Quite so. I found you, the renowned Russian revolutionary killer. Why is it that I'm Russian too? I observed that you were wearing the same attire as the victim. In other words, you were acquainted. And if my memory serves, that outfit is the traditional dress of the Russian people. Our school uniforms are the traditional dress of the Russian people? I had no idea. And I had no idea a detective could get something so wrong. I took a photograph of the victim and the message that I might analyze it for possible hidden details. This was taken immediately after the young man was discovered, before the body was removed. Yes, Kazuma had already been taken away when I woke up. This is the first time I've actually seen him like this. Are you all right, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, thank you. Russian word for wardrobe in purple ink. Can I ask you something, Mr. Sholmes? What pray? You mentioned Russia before as well, didn't you? You know, when you said I was a fearsome revolutionary fleeing from Russia and all of that. Yes. The train of reasoning that led me to the truth. Would you mind explaining that train of reasoning to me, do you think? I don't read Cyrillic. I can't attempt to pronounce that. Certainly, if it interests you. I mean, I'm not Russian and I don't speak Russian. Can we talk about your deduction before the things you concluded about me, I mean? The now famously accurate, troubling predicament you find yourself in? Actually, it was the other details that I was more hoping to discuss. You know, the merciless Russian revolutionary and assassin of 16 part. Yes, the more sordid details. It was a fairly commonplace deduction. Here we have this morning's paper. The main headline reads, Revolutionary villain Wait, that's supposed to be his first name. Okay. Revolutionary villain Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. This vessel made a port call at Shanghai yesterday, and last night the young Russian was murdered. Since when was Kazuma Russian? Sounds like Mr. Sholmes has concluded he was Russian because of what Kazuma-sama wrote on the floor. It was a simple act of reasoning to realize that the culprit of this crime was the same merciless revolutionary. One who would kill the very man who helped him to escape after his true identity was discovered. Yes, you, villain Bolshevik! No! How could it be me? I don't look anything like this man. Just look at his face! Well, you are a fearsome revolutionary after all. Therefore, you have no doubt learnt to revolutionize your appearance as well. Please. And I might add, your name does not appear on the ship's passenger list. Need I say more? Well, that's because I'm a stowaway. What about the other details? The 16 victims of assassination and blowing up the Crystal Tower? Yes. The journalist clearly interviewed the man and printed all those particulars in the article. The deeds the man has perpetrated thus far, and those he is plotting. Yes, everything about this revolutionary Bolshevik was included. There can be no mistake. Do revolutionaries usually agree to interviews with newspaper Do revolutionaries usually agree to interviews with newspaper reporters? I wonder. And what about the part where you said I was just returning from Afghanistan? Also quite clearly stated here in the article. Bolshevik is recently returned after a period of subversive activities in a war-torn region of Afghanistan. Where even is Afghanistan anyway? Here, take the paper for yourself. As a little memento of this great deduction. Thank you. I've absorbed all that is of interest to me within its pages. I see no rubbish bin nearby. Fine. And you may find the article on the back page of interest as well. On the back. Cast your eye over it sometime if the interest takes you, though you may need someone to interpret. It's all written in Russian. I couldn't hope to read it. But I suppose it wouldn't hurt to glance at the article. There might be a picture or two. Before we started talking, you were examining Kazuma's desk, weren't you? Kazuma? Yes, the victim. Did you notice anything useful? Anything at all? Observe, for a moment, the desktop of the victim. We see that the victim was engaged in penning some text. London Diary. Kazuma was keeping notes of the trip. But I don't think you should read his private writings. It could upset people. Tragic. And something you ought to perhaps elucidate before the act of reading. You mean you've read it already? It is my business to know what other people do not. Yes, believe it or not, I know a smattering of Japanese. I see. Well, you're about to know what a Susato takedown is. No, she's his biggest fan in this room at the moment. Susato-san? Aren't you going to throw the detective with one of your trademark takedowns? I'm sorry, Naruhodo-san. What on earth do you mean? Life is so unfair. Anyway, to return to the matter at hand, namely this diary belonging to the victim. It would appear the final sentence is incomplete, as if the author were cut short. Tell me, what is the nature of the writing? Pray be precise as to details. Oh, but I thought you knew Japanese. A smattering, dear boy, a smattering. Sayonara, Bansai, Mikado, Nado Nado. I trust you're suitably impressed. But this diary is littered with complicated looking characters, of which I can read precisely none. So what was all that showing off about before then? If you would be so kind as to show me, I would be happy to read it to you, Mr. Sholmes. I'm much obliged, my dear madam. The final entry here in Kazuma-sama's diary consists of just 2 short sentences. The first reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. A whistling sound? These are very deep waters. Pray go on. The second sentence reads, 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. Speckled band? What on earth does that mean? I have no idea. I've never heard that expression before. The ventilator grill, you say? The man was presumably referring to the lattice there on the wall, which connects to the adjoining cabin. Yes, the adjoining cabin. Okie dokie then. Well, in the prologue, it was a snake. So, I believe I've given you enough to consider for the time being at least. Do you have somewhere to go? As it happens, the victim's writings in his diary have piqued my interest. The matter warrants further investigation, I believe. And if I am still too long, the seasickness takes hold. Oh, that explains all the hopping around and gesturing and posing and stuff. Oh, I suppose you're thinking of investigating the cabin next door, with which the ventilator connects to. Great detectives are a curious breed. Our minds rebel at stagnation. We crave mental exaltation. So yes, I intend to investigate. Hence, the truth will become clear soon enough. Do you think perhaps that we could go with you? No, that would be somewhat complicated. What? Why? A simple glance at your wrist should reveal the answer. Ow. These. After all, you're the prime suspect in this matter, no? There's no point in trying to turn it into a question. You're the one who decided I was the culprit in the first place. Whatever do you mean? I have no recollection of naming you as the culprit at any point. What? You must be joking. You just said it only a moment ago. Dear me, you are clearly misguided. I would have no cause to say such a thing. Well, actually, Mr. Sholmes, I did hear you say that too. You're quite sure? Well, that's very strange. I wouldn't have said you had the face of a criminal, you know? Not really. So, what, were you looking at my knees before? Some great detective you are. Well, anyway, that was then and this is now. What do you mean? What I mean, sir, is this. If you are the culprit, then you must play the part more convincingly. Roll over and accept your fate. Now he's just being plain rude. And off he goes, having just laughed in my face. Since his sense of humor is as twisted as his name. Naruhodo-san, what are you just standing there for? Sir? We must go and investigate the cabin next door as well. Aren't you forgetting something? What about these? There's no way I can. Hiya! After Kazuma-sama spent his dying moments struggling to leave us a clue, you're willing to give up? You're just going to roll over and accept your fate. So if you give me any choice in the rolling over part? I think we still have some investigation to finish off in here first, don't we? Let's carry on examining what we can in this cabin while we wait for a chance to slip next door. Good idea. Situation doesn't look good for me, but there are still things I can do to help myself. And I owe it to Kazuma to do everything I can to find a way out of this and bring the real culprit to justice. Okay. I mean, there's not much left, is there? This is, yes, it's a bell cord contraption, I think. What do you mean, contraption? I read about it in a book I was studying that talked about life in Great Britain. Large households often have bell cords like this, which you can pull to ring a bell to summon servants. Really? Sounds almost magical. Shall we give it a little try? Yes! In the interest of cultural research, obviously. Obviously. I suppose nobody comes for lowly Japanese people. No, I'm sure it's just that everyone's busy, that's all. Oh. Oh. That's my dinner from last night, roast chicken. It was really tasty. Yes, it was very delicious, wasn't it? But did you eat it on the floor here? Not a dog, Susato-san. Ate at the table, of course. Which begs the question of when and how the plate ended up on the floor. But Kazuma-sama didn't like chicken at all, did he? No, that's right. So he didn't touch it. Which meant all the more for me. Oh no, does that mean poor Kazuma-sama spent his last night on Earth with an empty belly? It's just too horrible. Now I suddenly have a guilty conscience and an achy stomach. Oh, look over there. The crewman, you mean? He wasn't there before, was he? That's what I thought. Why don't we try talking to him? Probably because I'm likely to get yelled at again, but I suppose I could try. Is something wrong, Naruhodo-san? Oh, no, it's just that crewman standing by the door. Can't help feeling like I've seen him somewhere before. Oh, yes, you're right. He does look familiar. Excuse me, sir. What can I do for you? You! I recognize that face, but it can't be. How are you still alive? Exactly. It is! I didn't know you were here, Inspector Hosonaga. And why do you suddenly have a Russian accent? A bad one. Because I am undercover, comrade. They don't start doing the comrade thing for like another 20, 30 years. Hello again. What are you doing here? Undercover. I think that should be my line. I was so stunned when I saw you, my heart stopped. Nearly stopped, I hope. I received some special orders to go undercover as a member of the crew and board the ship. Again? You certainly seem to enjoy undercover work, Inspector. If there's anything I can do to help you, please ask. I never expected to see this man on board, but perhaps his presence can help me out of this hopeless situation. So, what are your special orders this time, Inspector? Yes, and why are you dressed up as a member of the crew? I am so sorry. Huh? This is all my fault. I take full responsibility. For what? My orders were to act as Asogi-san's bodyguard. It was Minister of Justice Jiko Ku who pushed for this overseas study tour to go ahead. And he entrusted me with ensuring that Asogi-san reached Great Britain without being assassinated. Assassinated? How could that even have been a possibility? I'm not sure. But these are complicated times. There are tensions between the world's greatest powers. Minister Jikoku said we should be prepared for all eventualities. This is incredible. I don't believe it. Kazuma-sama was assassinated? Obviously, we couldn't give Asagi-san a visible security escort. Which is why I'm undercover now, posing as one of the crew. I see. And I didn't take my eyes off him the entire time we've been on board, from morning until night every day. But I never imagined it would happen here, inside his own cabin, not here on the first-class deck. I failed miserably at my assignment, and Asogi-san is dead as a result. I'm a disgrace. All I can do is humbly apologize. Inspector! So if there's anything at all I can do to help now, just say the word. We're doing what we can to investigate Kazuma's death ourselves. I thought you might be. You didn't do it, did you? You're not the killer. Of course not. We'd really like to investigate the cabin next door. Yes, so we need to be allowed out of this cabin. I'm sorry. What? You've been deemed a risk to the ship's safety. If you move to even touch the handle of the cabin door, that stormy-looking seaman there would surely snap your neck in two. I suppose. Not just a stowaway now, they think I'm a murderer as well. Would it be possible to give me something to work with, do you think? I'm going to need something persuasive. What do you mean? If I had a solid reason why the next door cabin should be investigated, for example, I'd do everything I could to persuade the captain to allow it. Really, I'd lay my life on this line if I had to. But I don't see how. The speckled band? There may be a way. What? Really? Think of how you tried to persuade me of your innocence, Naruhodo-san. By presenting me with a piece of evidence that you already had in your possession. Evidence? It's just the same as when you were in court. You must have done it many times during your trial. Simply select the percent panel and choose some evidence that Inspector Hosonaga could use. And yes, I'm talking about the diary. So, evidence that would give us a viable reason to investigate the next door cabin, is it? The diary. Oh, right. Okay. Yes. I get your point. All right. Yes. What's that? It's Kazuma's diary. Just before he died, Kazuma-sama wrote something rather strange in his diary. Strange? In what way? He wrote, what looks like some kind of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. A speckled band? That is strange. Yes, we're still trying to work out what he meant by that, but what I'd like to know is... Don't tell me. The ventilator, is it? You're very astute, Inspector. That ventilator clearly joins to the next door cabin. That's right, so if we could investigate in there, we might be able to work out what the speckled band was. All right, then. I can't leave this cabin at the moment. I'm stuck here until we arrive at the port. The captain has given me strict orders to guard the scene of the crime, you see. I'll have to entrust the investigation to you. Really? You're willing to do that? Yes. As long as you don't leave the first-class cabin area. I'm afraid I can't remove those handcuffs, though. But what about the captain? Aren't you going against his direct orders? I'm a man of my word. And I promise you that I'll lay my life on the line if that is what it takes to convince the captain. After all, I failed to keep Asogi-san safe. This is the least I can do. Thank you. Let's seize the moment then, Naruhodo-san. Just select move and we can leave this cabin at last. All right. Let's see what we can find out. In the next episode, to the outro. Okay, so Herlock is a bit of an idiot. My guess is that this Dr. Wilson is the real detective, and he's been writing about the adventures of Herlock Sholmes as a way to share these stories without being forced into the spotlight. And Sholmes actually believes the good doctor's propaganda. But if his Dr. Wilson is the same Dr. Wilson as from the previous case, he's about to have a very bad time without him around to be the penny to his gadget. As for the actual murder, like I said, I'm not at all surprised by Kazuma's death. Also, Hosonaga thinks he was assassinated. I hate to profile someone I've never met, but there is a guy actually named Bolshevik Villain involved. Anyhow, we'll carry on our investigation next time. In the meantime, up here's a playlist of my Persona 5 Royal playthrough, and down here's a video that YouTube recommends. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!